Welcome back to BadgerBlitz TV, your Rivals.com destination for all things Wisconsin athletics. Once again, I'm Matt Perkins, joined, as I always am, by my good friend, Rivals.com national analyst Clint Cosgrove, reporting live on scene at one of our high school all-star events. Clint, like we always say, baby, best time of the week, and you are definitely having the best time of the week.
Best time of the week, man. Today's the underclassmen combine down here. So a lot of the young studs. I remember the first time I came here, I saw Minka Fitzpatrick. He didn't have any offers. So there's like a lot of guys like that. I saw Danny O'Neill checking in yesterday. So should be interesting. I've been at the, they're doing that combine portion right now. I'm watching some 40s in the background. But yeah, I've been at the All-American Bowl practices all week. And then, yeah, we got the combine today, game tomorrow. So awards dinner tonight. Got a stacked plate.
Big weekend. Off the cuff here, though. Who of the underclassmen has stood out so far from the Midwest? Any guys?
No, I mean, yesterday was check-in. They just got down here, so we were.
I don't know, man. Some of those kids, sometimes they just come off the bus and they look different.
Oh, no. There's a bunch of those kids. Like Corny did a podcast with Goldberg yesterday because his kid's here. You guys can check that out. It's pretty funny. Jamichael Finley, he was checking in with his son yesterday. I talked to Danny O'Neill out of Indianapolis when he was checking in. A guy who's been up to Wisconsin a couple times, Andre Lovett out of Blue Island, Eisenhower in Illinois. He's down here. There's a group of kids. The freshman linebacker from Wisconsin. He's down here. I'm going blank on his name. There's so many kids.
Not Cooper Catalano. He's a sophomore.
Yeah.
Oh, is it
okay.
Catalano?
Oh, then it is.
He's a 25. Yeah. He's a 25.
Okay. Yeah. He's down here too. I wasn't there when he checked in. I was still over at the practice for the East team. But yeah, they sat down with them. So there's a lot of guys here. There's I think 600 in this combine. And then they'll do, right after this testing, I'll go down to the field and they'll do the position workouts. So should be a good day.
All right. Well, we're excited for you, Clint. You guys are going to have to be tuned into Clint's Instagram, Clint's Twitter, at Rivals_Clint the whole time to get all of the goods from the combine, from the All-American game. There's some big announcements this weekend. Badgers have, Malik Elsie has the Badgers in his top 4. Looking like an outside shot. He seems to be an Illinois lean right now, but hey, you never know. Coach Fick has been closing strong. Speaking of closing, they've been closing in the transfer portal recently. Just got a big commitment from Darian Varner out of Temple. He is someone who, as a freshman, 7.5 sacks, 12.5 tackles for loss, first team All AAC. Clint, I think this is an important pickup for the Badgers. He is sort of almost like a hybrid edge, like a 5 technique defensive end almost. His body size and his play style are really interesting because you see him move all along the defensive line, which is going to be important, especially in third and long situations. We're going to turn on the tape here in a minute. What do you see in this kid? How do you think he fits into Fick and Mike Tressell's defense?
Well, I think the first thing that you look at when they take a kid like this is he's young. He was a freshman this year. I believe he was all conference, you said.
Mm-hmm.
But very versatile across the defensive line. If they're moving to that 3-3-5, he's a guy who can play a number of spots. When you watch the film, we saw him play on the edge. We saw him play at a 2-eye. We saw him play at nose. So you like his versatility there. He's good with his hands. He's got a burst. Comes off blocks. He can bend off the edge, but very productive. And I think, going back to the first thing that I said is they played against him, I believe, at Cincinnati. They know what they're getting. He obviously gave them fits and they targeted him. And when we talked on the last podcast, we said that they were going to likely target an edge type, a receiver, and a quarterback. And, so far they've already gotten the quarterback, the second quarterback. This could be the edge, and then CJ Williams might be the receiver. So that's where you might see some of those scholarships go. But just watching the film, you see him on the edge right here, a bull rush against a big tackle. Now, he doesn't have that like prototypical, I guess, edge frame, but you see him get underneath the pads of the tackle there and bull rush him off the edge. And he was, this is a young kid, you got to remember as well. So he's still developing. He's still going to get stronger, but you see him there. He's got great bend. Explosive off the edge. That's what I was talking about earlier with his bend off the edge. He's, great reactions to everything around him, sees the field well. And you see him lining up at a 3 technique here. I can't remember what he does. He just runs right through. So, you love his first step. You love his disruption. Extremely disruptive player, especially in passing downs.
I mean, you even see him here, head up on the center, just,
Yep.
abusing him from the inside with a quick move. And that this versatility, I think, is going to be really interesting to watch along the defensive line. Now, because under Jim Leonard, one of the things that we've seen out of the Badgers is they will move guys around. They'll have, one D lineman standing up, 2 D linemen standing up, maybe one on the nose. So they already have some versatile pieces on the defensive line. This is another one, and I think what it really does, Clint, is that it allows for, they can get the best 11 guys on the field for the situation at any time.
No question. As they're, the personnel's not going to change a ton. They were 3 down before, but it's going to change a little. And if you can get versatile guys like this who can plug and play in different spots, it just allows you a lot more flexibility as you're doing the slight transition in personnel. But you see how powerful he is now. It's a different level of lineman, obviously, in the Big Ten. But his ability to go to from speed, get the tackles, even the interior guys on their heels, and then go to power and push them right back into the quarterback is pretty impressive. He's got a nice long arm for a nice long arm move for not being a 6'4", 6'5" guy. So I think it's a big piece to the puzzle to build this defense moving forward.
Yeah, I think that they are doing so, and I think that one of the questions we got in the den this week was about finishing out the 2023 class, what positions they need to target before late signing day or whatever, which OG signing day, what are we even calling the February signing date now? I
don't even know.
Yeah, I still think though that this class needs interior defensive linemen, but they are at a premium. Do you agree with that assessment that they need the interior D line, and what other positions, if you are Fickell and Maximus and the rest of the staff, are you targeting as they close out the 2023 stretch?
Yeah, I think interior D-line is a big need, and those guys don't grow on trees. And the ones that are still left out there that are from the high school level, there's going to be some stiff competition for. But it all depends, because early signing day, like you said, is the new signing day, and very few kids sign late. So, some of those spots, like, a guy like Jamel Howard, do we know that Auburn's going to go all in on him? I don't know if we know that. It really depends. They're in a unique situation as well because they're a new coaching staff. So you might see a lot of battles between the new coaching staffs for these remaining players. And I think you're going to see a lot of transfer portal heavy stuff moving forward. I don't think this is going to be a live in the transfer portal thing. I think it's kind of, and you see the guys that they're targeting. These aren't junior, senior guys. A lot of these guys are freshmen, so they're getting them with room to grow. They're still going to be able to develop them. And, some of these guys still have 4 years remaining. So, it should be really interesting how they decide to proceed moving forward. There's a young receiver room, but I think they needed that veteran presence. CJ Williams kind of falls in between that. He did play at USC this year. I know he's on campus this weekend, I believe.
Yep.
Right, Burko?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
He's on campus this weekend, as is Quincy Burrows, I believe, from Cincinnati, who is also class of 2022. And obviously played with the staff last season, so he's another interesting option. But CJ Williams appears to be portal option number one, and you can see why. I mean, former top 50 recruit in the country just last season, and the connection there. Everyone's like, "What's the connection?" He plays, USC. The connection is Nick Evers. They were in that 2022 Oklahoma class together before Lincoln Riley departed. Went to USC. CJ Williams follows basically back home, right? He's from Mater Day, had committed to Oklahoma, now just basically jumped down the coast to USC. I think that's an interesting option because you never see Wisconsin have that kind of, talent, high ranked talent out of high school. It's rare to get a 4-star in general, but this high of 4-star is a different level of player. I mean, a 6.0 on Rivals means something.
Yeah. That's supposed to be a future high round draft pick. And would Wisconsin have been in the mix with him coming out? No, they wouldn't have been. And, the thing that I like about the way they're going about it is it's extremely strategic. They identified guys that they wanted, and then they say, okay, if we're getting Evers, then we could probably get it on CJ Williams. So you see Evers come first. Now CJ Williams is on campus. And, it's just it's not just throwing out offers to guys who are highly ranked or, they like coming out of high school. There's a plan here. And I think that bodes well for, the recruiting efforts moving forward.
Yeah, it definitely does. And like you said, I think it's really interesting that they're targeting almost exclusively guys who have 3 and 4 years left. You have the one exception to the rule, and that's Tanner Mordecai, the 6-year quarterback, but he can come in and you need somebody. If you're going to bring in a quarterback, and really remake the offense, you needed a senior guy and a younger guy to balance the room out, especially considering how few scholarship quarterbacks the Badgers had with both Graham Mertz and now Iowa Hawkeye Deacon Hill now out of the room from last season. So I think it is just a fascinating time to be following and watching Badger football because, I mean, we've talked about this with Bernie and with Travis Beckham and some of these other guys recently that there's not a time in recent Badger history that you can remember sort of the juice around the program. Are people talking about it down there at the bowl game? Have you talked to anyone who says like, are you hearing any conversations or anything like that about sort of their new impact on the recruiting trail and in the portal?
I was just on the field before I came out to the press box, and I mean, I brought it up, but then we did start talking about CJ, and they were it was some national analysts with other groups, and they were saying, they're like, what's the connection there? They had already looked at the Wisconsin staff. They're like, there's no direct California connection and that sort of thing. So yeah, there is some buzz around it. People are talking about it. There's a lot to talk about down here, so you don't necessarily expect it to come up. And like I said, I brought it up, but then as soon as I did, other people already, they were looking into it and checking to see like what's going on here. So I would say there's getting some national buzz about the recruiting efforts, and I don't know the last time that we saw that really.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's exciting times, and we will be back next week with more news. We're excited to see, Clint, what you dig up at the All-American game at the Combine this weekend. I know that you will be talking with anyone and everyone down there, and anyone who is anyone wants to talk to Clint. So he's got the scoop. He's got the scoop. We love you, buddy. Make sure to follow Rivals_Clint on all the social medias. I'm at _Perko_ on Twitter, and Believe in Badgers has Mike Eccles this week. That video
I love that
is out, and you want to talk about a storyteller, like a great storyteller. Mike Eccles tells a story, weaves a tapestry, and talks smack like no one else you've ever heard. It was like it was a long one. It's an 80-minute episode. We could have gone for 3 hours. I swear to God, we could have gone for 3 hours had it not already been 10:30 at night. Like that was
Mike,
epic.
He was like that on the field too. When I redshirted my freshman year on scout team, I would go up against him almost every day. And it was good to see he's doing well. I saw part of it, and I'll definitely. I don't know if I'll have time to watch all 80 minutes, but I'm definitely going to check in on it.
Well, you've got whenever you take the flight home. It's evergreen.
Yeah, that is true.
It's evergreen. So,
no question, man.
All right. Well, we'll be back here on BadgerBlitz TV. Make sure you have subscribed to the YouTube page and that you are subscribed over at BadgerBlitz.com. Keep up with all of the latest news on all things Wisconsin athletics and to hang out with us in the Badgers Den. So until next time, thank you, Clint, and we will see you in the den.
See you in the den.